Hi everyone, my name is Ronan Watkins and I'm a software engineer in the developer engagement team. With this developer drop, I'm going to give you an introduction to our SDK generation process and go through adding a simple feature to one of the SDKs. I'm doing this in the hope that I can make feature development on our SDKs a little more approachable to people who may not be familiar with it and as something they'd like to add to our SDKs. We do take feature requests and bug requests for the SDKs, and the forum is a great place for that, but with lots of projects underway, it can take us a little time to getting around to implementing them. So usually the quickest way to make changes is doing it yourself. This is one of the reasons that we open source the SDK generation. For a little context on the tooling we use for our SDKs, our public API schema is defined using Swagger in a JSON file stored in S3. The two repos we'll be using go hand in hand to generate client SDKs from this definition. Swagger CodeGen generates a jar file with all the logic for generating client SDKs using the API definition and mustache template files. Platform Client SDK Common is a consumer of this jar and provides the templates, scripts and extensions for the SDKs. It also contains scripts for building and publishing the SDKs and diffing newly released Swagger schemas to determine if new SDKs should be built and if so, what has changed, and increment the version numbers appropriately. So let's start off with cloning the repos and adding our feature. So firstly, what we're going to have to do is clone our Swagger CodeGen repo. So that's available at PureCloud Labs /Swagger CodeGen. So firstly, if you just want to clone that locally, and then go into the platform common repo. So we're going to be creating a PR in here. So the best thing to do is to fork it firstly into your personal GitHub account and then clone it. So firstly we'll fork it, and then if you just clone it locally and make sure to clone it to the same directory that you clone Swagger CodeGen to, because that's going to be important when we run the build. So just go into the common repo. First thing we have to run is Npm Install. So just going to install any dependencies of the build process. And secondly, we have to create a local config file. So the change we're going to be making today will be in the Golang SDK. So the config for that will be in resources SDK pure cloud go. And the config file will be named localconfig.yaml. So in this file, we'll be specifying a few environment variables. Most importantly will be workspace. So this has to be the parent directory of Platform Common and Swagger CodeGen. Also, what you can declare in here is the PureCloud client ID and secret. You can either declare them here or in your local terminal. So I'm just going to declare them in my terminal, like so. And now when that's set up, we're just going to go into Swagger CodeGen and firstly build that. That's going to build a Java jar. And then we'll run the build here just to make sure our workspace is set up okay. Swagger CodeGen has dependency on Java 8. It's worth noting, so make sure your Java home is set to your Java 8 JDK. And then you can build using Maven clean package. This should be built in a few minutes. When this is built, so we're going to go back to Swagger CodeGen, and the feature we'll be adding is going to be some simple enums that are going to define the API hosts for the various regions. So that's just going to make things a little bit easier for any end users of the SDK. That's built okay. So we use mustache templates here to develop our SDKs. So the template we're going to be editing today is in it's going to be configuration.mustache in the Golang SDK. I've already written the enums here, so I'm just going to paste it in like so. And these will be available globally to any clients using the SDK. So when that's all set up, we're just going to run the build. So it's all Node.js based. So just run node SDK.builder.js and pass in the SDK name. So in this case, it's Pure Cloud Go. So when this is all built, it's going to write the output into an output directory, and we're just going to copy the contents of the output directory into our Go path, which I've already set up, and we're going to use a client just to check that the code has been added okay. And when that's all set up, we'll create a PR. So just to copy the output will be in output purecloud.co. So that seems to be set up okay. I'm just going to open my local client here. So just to make sure that runs well, go run main.go. That's okay. So basically the change here is going to allow us to set the base path using an enum. So the enum I'll be using will be US East 1. And we can see here the editor has given us access to that. So when I run this again, it should give us the same output. That's good. So that's our feature added. It's pretty simple change. And I'm just going to add these files to a new branch and create a PR. Okay, so now we're going to create a PR into the upstream branch, which will be the Pure Cloud Labs branch here, master. And you probably won't have the option to add anybody as a reviewer, obviously, if you're not a member of the team. But if you just create it and leave a descriptive comment on your changes, we'll take a look at the PR and review it and merge it as necessary. So just checking the changes here, pretty minor, and just put in a simple comment description of what's been added. And that's been created as so. So we'd obviously get an email about this, check it out and comment on it and review it as appropriate. So that's basically it. Thanks for watching. And if you have any questions, you can reach out to us via the dev forum or any other appropriate methods. Thank you.